I've no time for babysitting. Our youngest, Clarissa, went out into the city to forage for supplies with her fool of a boyfriend, Tolman. They're overdue. You want to stay? Lend us a hand in the search. Find Clarissa and Tolman before the blackguards do. Maramoa Patua thanks you, exile, for returning our Clarissa to us. She is the gentle heart of this place, a spirit still capable of love in this wasteland of hatred. Yet that gentle heart remains in jeopardy. Tolman isn't deserving of Clarissa, but she'll not smile until he's by her side. It is good to see you, son of the Nakuramakoi. There are days when I've questioned the ancestors. Why bring me here, to Rayclast, so far from all that I love? Seeing you vindicates their decision. It is easy to be Karui when you are surrounded by Karui, but to walk the Karui way through this accursed land, that is the true test of a warrior. And as is our fate, our calling demands our sweat and our blood every moment of every day. Our youngest, Clarissa, went out into the city to forage for supplies with her fool of a boyfriend, Tolman. They're overdue. Help me, cousin. Help me find Clarissa and Tolman before the blackguards do. Maramoa Patua thanks you, son of the Nakuramakoi, for returning our Clarissa to us. She is the gentle heart of this place, a spirit still capable of love in this wasteland of hatred. Yet that gentle heart remains in jeopardy. Tolman isn't deserving of Clarissa, but she'll not smile until he's by her side. There are days when I've questioned the ancestors. Why bring me here, to Rayclast, so far from all that I love? Seeing you vindicates their decision. It is easy to be Karui when you are surrounded by Karui, but to walk the Karui way through this accursed land, that is the true test of a warrior. And as is our fate, our calling demands our sweat and our blood every moment of every day. Help us, cousin. Help us by finding Tolman. You have the walk, the grace of a woman who knows death intimately. Men are born with that knowledge. We have to earn it. Yes, there's much that you and I might speak of, but we have not the time now. Our youngest, Clarissa, went into the city to forage for supplies with her fool of a boyfriend, Tolman. They're overdue. Will you help me, Ranger? Can you find Clarissa and Tolman before the blackguards do? Maramoa Patua thanks you for returning our Clarissa to us. She is the gentle heart of this place, a spirit still capable of love in this wasteland of hatred. Yet that gentle heart remains in jeopardy. Tolman isn't deserving of Clarissa, but she'll not smile until he's by her side. You have the walk, the grace of a woman who knows death intimately. Men are born with that knowledge. We have to earn it. So, from one woman to another, I ask for your help, Ranger. Please, find Tolman for us. Dominus and his Ebony Legion arrived some time ago. Now the blackguards scour San like hungry maggots on a carcass. What are they looking for? Only that which is best left unfound. Tolman's dead, then. Another victim of piety's cruelty. Perhaps he escaped lightly. Look upon Grigor to see what life entails under piety's influence. And there was no sign of Clarissa? Then she's either avoided capture or the blackguards are keeping her for some other purpose. Either way, a shard of sunlight graces her survival. Find her, before that light wanes. Maramoa Patua thanks you. Clarissa is the heart of this place, the only exile I've ever seen laugh in this twisted city's face. There'll be no joy yet, though. Tolman isn't deserving of Clarissa, but she'll not smile until he's by her side. Tolman's dead, then. Another victim of piety's cruelty. Perhaps he escaped lightly. Look upon Grigor to see what life entails under piety's influence. Let me offer you something, in recognition of all that you have done for us. We shall mourn Tolman's death as we shall treasure Clarissa's life. Clarissa will weep for Tolman. She must. The cloud is darkest before the rain. Talamoana, exile? Talamoana, exile. Talamoana, exile. Talamoana. 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 Tala. Greetings. 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 What is it? What is it? What is it? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Yes? Yes. Yes. Talakora, go with courage. Talakora, go with courage. Talakora, go with courage. Goodbye. 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 Be well. Be well. Be well. Be well. Talakora. 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 There is nothing else. There is nothing else. There is nothing else. Why are you still standing there? Why are you still standing there? Why are you still standing there? Hagen is a man of many claims, and those claims seldom dance harmoniously together. A lie is a death sentence in Namakanui, so I was raised a daughter of truth. Hagen is a son of self-interest. He's no warrior nor spirit singer. He's a korangi. I don't know the right word in Oriathan, but in Karui it means he who wins wars with false promises. Grigor straddles two worlds. 1 foot planted on this soil, 1 in the dirt of spirit and shadow. When you speak with him, be sure to know from which world his words arise. It's an often told story among the Karui, how Vol of Thebris bent his knee to my ancestor, King Kalm, and promised freedom in return for war. While Vol raised his purity rebellion in the heart of the empire, Kalm took Lord Lion Eye's head and the southern coast all the way to Siren's Cove. It was the greatest conquest the Karui have ever seen. Citizens of the San that was, the Undying have been around for hundreds of years. Left to their own devices, they'll likely survive for hundreds more. Still, they're not immune to mortality's touch. They can be killed, with some difficulty. This ribbon spool device. Why would the blackguards want to protect it? And why on this side of the river? What is its import to them? And why have they not taken it back to their encampment? I give you only questions, I know. You found this near the Solaris Temple. Then perhaps that's where you should look for your answers. General Gravisius demands absolute obedience from his blackguards, meaning he's surrounded himself with cowards and lackwits unable to lift a finger without orders. If you are able, traverse the river and murder Gravisius in his own barracks. He'll be ripping the very mind from the skulls of our enemies. If I knew how to cross the river safely, I'd be wearing Gravisius' head on my belt. You found a way to the other side? Good, but stand no closer, please. Sewer with a tinge of roasted undeath. It's a powerful fragrance. Be sure to stand downwind of Gravisius' tent when you reach the barracks. You wouldn't want to lose the element of surprise. Traversing the sewers under the river. I should have thought of that myself. Yet, the more of a picture you paint of that undying concoction in the sewers, the less I want to see it. If you manage to destroy it, expect a storm of undeath to descend upon you. The dark is their home, and there'd be nowhere more homely to the Undying than a pitch-swathed drain under a river. You are the true spirit of the Makoru, the shark. Not the cowardly beast that sinks its teeth into the lonely swimmer. You strike the Waikoama, the canoe, spilling a feast of men into the water, hunters turned hunted, that you dine on at your pleasure. Have this, Makoru. You are the true spirit of the Makoru, the shark. Not the cowardly beast that sinks its teeth into the lonely swimmer. You strike the Waikoama, the canoe, spilling a feast of men into the water, hunters turned hunted, that you dine on at your pleasure. There's still prey out there, an overreaching witch floundering out of her depth. Happy hunting, Makoru. You have claimed the most worthy of prey, Makoru. Piety, the mistress of corruption. I'm not saying the war is over, but you've given Rayclast a much-needed respite. Because of you, this land lives to see another dawn. You have claimed the most worthy of prey, Makoru. Piety, the mistress of corruption. I'm not saying the war is over, but you've given Rayclast a much-needed respite. Because of you, this land lives to see another dawn. And don't forget that you've done Grigor and Clarissa a justice of some magnitude. They will wish to speak to you. You have claimed the most worthy of prey, Makoru. Piety, the mistress of corruption. I'm not saying the war is over, but you've given Rayclast a much-needed respite. Because of you, this land lives to see another dawn. And don't forget that you've done Grigor a justice of some magnitude. He will wish to speak to you. You have claimed the most worthy of prey, Makoru. Piety, the mistress of corruption. I'm not saying the war is over, but you've given Rayclast a much-needed respite. Because of you, this land lives to see another dawn. And don't forget that you've done Clarissa a justice of some magnitude. She will wish to speak to you. To kill a man like Dominus. That's an accomplishment worthy of Kaum, my greatest ancestor. Were we in Namakanui, I'd make you a Makanga, an honoured warrior. But we are not in Namakanui. We dwell in a city of death, and my respect is all the honour I can bestow on you. You have claimed the most worthy of prey, Makoru. Piety and Dominus, the harbingers of nightmare. I'm not saying the war is over, but you've given Rayclast a much-needed respite. Because of you, this land lives to see another dawn. Good to see you in San once again. I wish that we could be greeting under fairer skies, yet this city remains clouded in strife. Lunaris, eternal goddess of the moon, and her sister Solaris of the sun, have risen to reclaim what was once their own. Siblings equal in strength, mighty twin rivers converging, sweeping all before them. We are cornered animals, awaiting the deluge that will surely drown us. Yet there exists a pair of ancient treasures, the sun orb and the moon orb. They are our hope, our desperation. These owl eyes of mine have been watching the sun goddess from afar. The sun orb lies within her temple, guarded by her most ardent devotee, an exile who, in his insanity, has taken to calling himself the Dawn. That orb is the seed that must be stolen from this new son of hers and planted at the feet of his ancient mother. The seed of Solaris. We may win our freedom from these divine tyrants yet. You have honoured me with this victory. Let me honour you with the reward. I've been keeping a close eye on that exile-turned-sycophant who calls himself the Dusk. Dusk carried the moon orb into the Linares temple and has not returned with it, not as far as I have seen. No doubt he clings to that orb like it's his adopted mother's own nurturing breast. If you were to wean him from the teat and place that orb at the bereft mother's feet, we may yet see the moon itself fall. You've wrenched the overgrown babe from the breast and stolen his mother's milk. A grim act of necessity that should be marked with an honourable reward. By the earth and sky, the power of these goddesses lies in your hands. Take these seeds and plant them in the fertile stone at their feet. From what I have learnt, it is my hope that the orbs will force Solaris and Lunaris to grow limbs and flesh to engage you in mortal battle. May this come to pass, and may you cut down these goddesses as a forester might fell a pair of stubborn old trees. You have offered us the greatest of gifts, freedom. With these divine tyrants gone, we are free to live our lives as we wish, not as is ordained. In time, all of San will thank you. For now, let it simply be me. Grigor is the butterfly that has lost its wings to a cruel child, and this place of respite has become a cage for his pain, a breeding ground of bad memory. We spoke, and Grigor shared his resolve with me. He can no longer live with the torment that piety has injected into his heart. Like the warrior poet he is, Grigor has ventured into the unknown to find a cure for his body and mind, or die in the attempt. The dead do not love the living, and the living cannot love the dead. People fear what they do not understand. I understand Clarissa. I am not frightened of her. I am frightened for her. If I am a watchful owl, then you are the courageous hawk, swooping with sharpened talons to wrench the serpent from the child's neck. Clarissa will bear that wound for the rest of her life. But I'm glad you were there to save her from following poor Tolman into the dirt. Perhaps now that Clarissa has lost her love of death, she will finally be able to embrace life. I was out hunting food for our encampment. Like a prowling cat I was, but what I saw, marching across the ruins, made me feel like a little mouse. Gem-studded warriors pounding the earth, led by their strongest, a captain. I've known of these Gemling legionnaires, how they were once the personal swords of Emperor Chittis, but now they rise again, with this captain at their fore. Swallowing my fear, I followed the captain and found a force being gathered within the grain gate. Exile, I know it's not fair for me to ask. You have done so many things for us. But if you were to find the captain and slay him and his men, I would honor you greatly. Our little town would not survive an onslaught such as the captain is likely to enact upon us. They walked our earth in the times of great strife, cruel and hideous shadows cast against the clay wall of ruined abode. Thaumaturge Malachi grew them out of the vain ambitions of his dark imaginings. Emperor Chittis believed the legionnaires belonged to him, that Gemling men would beat to the drum of his own crystalline heart. But as the silhouette of the emperor faltered and fell, burned out by the light of true men, some of the legion remained. The cataclysm turned legionnaire into monster, another mindless man of undeath. Yet this captain seems to have regained his faculties, some of his old warrior intelligence. I worry for the rest of his soldiers, how they may grow from mindless killing machines into something far worse. My courageous hawk removes yet another snake from the long grass. I offer you a reward, but my mind remains unsettled. The captain lies rotting in the ground, buzzing with flies. But if Gemling legionnaires can regain their sentience, then can all the monstrosities of the undying do the same? My thoughts turn to the burrows and chambers beneath the earth of Sane. Could there be some new, undead civilization growing and preparing itself underground at this very moment? Such thoughts do not make for easy sleeping.